So where physical suffering is concerned, if medical science could handle it, we do not interfere in those matters. We only take up cases which medical science cannot help. For example, there is a Dasa here, who had a tumor in the brain. She underwent an operation and the tumor was removed. But then there continued a tremendous headache for her, and the doctor said, well, we cannot help you beyond this. This is the best medical science can do. We are keeping you alive, but we cannot remove that pain. So in such cases, we interfere. So we normally track down your entire life from that moment onwards, right into the womb and into past lives. And then what we got was, 1,000 years earlier, she had tied up a goat and in a fit of anger was repeatedly beating the goat and damaged the goat's brain. The pictures came through very, very clear. So once we got that, we told her to go into one of our campuses where we have goats, sheep, cows, buffaloes, all kinds of animals we have here. So we asked her to go and feed a goat for 7 days. She fed the goat for 7 days and the pain completely disappeared. Now, you may not be able to explain this scientifically, but the fact is that the scenes were seen, the goat was fed, and the pain went away. So this is the way we normally treat people which medical science cannot help. So that is our approach to physical healing. If the doctor can help or anything is going to happen from the medical side, certainly we won't interfere. It's only when it involves something of past lives, something which happened at the moment of conception, what happened in the womb, or the delivery phase, which medical science cannot handle, which we generally call karma, we interfere. That is how we help people. Now, for example, if you are in Italy and you have a similar problem, what you should do is you must relax. You must move into what we call the hypnagogic state, the state between waking and sleep. Every day before you go to sleep, you pass through the hypnagogic state and enter the sleep state. Similarly, when you wake up, you enter the hypnagogic state and you wake up. You must try to move into that state and you must ask for a blessing from Amma Bhagavan, saying, please show us where the problem is. We can exactly show you, if you do it correctly, where the problem is. And you could also ask us to change it. We would change it and you could get healed. If you cannot do that, if you could come to India, we will help you. So that is the answer for the first question. So we move on to the second question. See, what we are doing is, it's not that your conscious level has to rise, rather you are becoming a conduit. You are being connected to the divine source. The divine source is your own higher self. When the connection is made, then the Diksha flows through you. Now, we are able to do it in 2 days because the phenomenon has gone very powerfully and it is growing by the day, by the week, by the month. It is becoming more and more powerful. In fact, we could have done this even earlier, but for certain reasons and certain things, certain events, we could not do this. Had we done it earlier, today we would all be in a much better state. But it could not be done. But better late than never. And now today we are in a position, remember what Padmasambhava said. Padmasambhava was the great Buddhist teacher who took Buddhism from India to Tibet. And he had said, when the iron bird flies in the air, people will be awakened in less than 3 minutes. Now, the iron birds have been flying in the air for quite some years now, the aeroplanes. So the time has come when things will start moving very fast. So, all that we are giving is that connection. And as you grow in your conscious levels, you will find Diksha is becoming more and more powerful. And since it's only 2 days, you should, of course, your teachers are, so they have to continue to guide you. 2 days is for making you into blessing givers, into Diksha givers, but they must in addition do some programs to help you grow fast. Besides, we can have this level 3. My talking to you is level 3, where you can come up with spiritual questions, you can meditate in their presence, and they'll also bless you, which will raise your levels of consciousness. In effect, how this happens is, now let us say I stay in a campus called GC1, our process could be going on a campus called Andaloka 3. There the person could be stuck. He might not be able to get an experience. He might not be able to get an insight. He is stuck. The Dasa would give a phone call here to a Dasa here and tell, please tell Bhagavan, this person is stuck. He needs this insight. He needs this experience. Then I would say, okay, he will have this experience. The moment I say, he'll automatically start there. That is, I take what's called a sankalpa. A sankalpa means going deep into your consciousness and staying with an intent. Once that is done, things start happening. For example, you might be knowing that I do help people with what you call miracles. Now, in India, on average about 500 people are passed in front of me with their problems, and I do help them. Now, how I help them is, they tell me their problem, and they ask for a particular solution. So, I go inside myself, and I visualize that solution and see it happening, and then thereafter, it becomes reality. So, people from some village might come and say, we do not have rains for a long time. And then if I find the conditions are right, I might go inside myself and see it raining in that village, and then the rains might start. So this anybody can do. It's not that only I can do. If you also could go deep into your consciousness and do it, it will happen. So similarly, with regard to the phenomenon, now because I've been wanting this to happen very, very fast, I could not make it happen because of a number of reasons which some of you might be well aware of. So now the power is sufficient. So I went in and took that intent, because that was a time when the energies were very auspicious. This is the third. It's like an eagle, you know. The crow flies with its wings being beaten, but the eagle does not fly like that. It waits for the wind draft and jumps onto the wind draft and then floats away. Similarly, December 3rd, there was a very, very good energy draft. That was very auspicious. So I took the Sankalpa on that day. Sankalpa means going inside and taking a deep intent. Then it becomes a reality. And the Sankalpa was that in 2 days' time, you should become a blessing givers. That is, you should get connected to your own higher self, or what we call the divine. And then the energy start flowing. Of course, to give more powerful dikshas, you must go into better human beings, into human beings who have no conflict. All that growth must happen. And I'll also be helping you. Yes. The whole process of spiritual growth is confronting oneself. If you do not confront yourself, you are not going to grow. It's only when you confront yourself, you know who you are. And unless you know who you are, you cannot accept yourself. And if you cannot accept yourself, you cannot love yourself. And if you cannot love yourself, you're not going to love the other. And all spiritual growth stops. So in this case, you should not follow your natural tendencies. You have to learn to confront the darker side of yourself. You're trying to avoid the darker side of yourself. You have to get in touch with the darker side. Getting in touch with the positive side is not of much use. But what is important is the darker side, the negative side. Each one of us has got an inauthentic side, a darker side, a negative side, a side about which they are very frightened. Unless you hold it like a baby, you examine it carefully, and you look at it non-judgmentally, there's going to be no growth. But if you keep avoiding it, things will move from bad to worse. Your life could very well become miserable.